So I drove 8 hours. I took a bus for 3 and drove for 5 to Washington, D.C.
Okay.
to watch the most pathetic fucking performance of my entire life. You know what this reminded me of? Not sure how much you remember this, but us Redskins fans at the time, I'm not racist, remember this very clearly. We played the Philadelphia Eagles at FedEx Field in 2010, I believe it was. Okay? It
I
was
probably
Michael
don't
Vick.
remember this.
You probably do because of this play. It was Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson on the first play. They go play
Oh,
action.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And that was the worst night of my entire life. I remember watching that
You
vividly.
were like 7 years old when that
Yeah,
happened.
no, I was 8. I was 8. I was 8. But dude,
I'm sorry.
I that was like the first game I remember being a Redskins fan. Ever
Set you up for
since
your whole life.
ever since then, man, I cannot do this anymore. I genuinely can't. And I've waited 2 weeks to rant because the first 2 weeks were fine. We beat Jacksonville. How did we beat Jacksonville?
Week
Blows my
one.
mind.
Week one. That's the only
Then we
explanation.
played Detroit, had a horrible first half, but third quarter, we were very good. Like, and Detroit is a good team. Offensively, they can get things going. Like, it wasn't the end of the world. We're on the road. I am fucking done with this coaching staff. I'm done. Sincerely. Because I remember coming on this pod, I subtweeted it today. The moment we let Kevin O'Connell go, it didn't seem like a big deal. I was fucking furious because we let a 34-year-old bright-minded offensive guy walk through the door, and we've seen it happen so many times with Matt LaFleur, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, now Kevin O'Connell, who's
Mike
coaching a
McDaniel.
Vikings team. Yeah, who's coaching a Vikings team that is 2-1 right now, and obviously they have a great offense. We know that. We have Scott Turner, who is terrible. Scott Turner is horrible. We have Jack Del Rio, who has arguably a very solid defensive unit, but can't rush. I swear, if you were back there at quarterback, you would not feel any sort of pressure. I said going into this game, anyone with a fucking brain could have realized we were not going to get one single sack on that Eagles O line. It was never going to happen. I was so done. And here's my biggest thing about this. And then my rant will kind of be done. Ron Rivera, yes, it was probably the right hire at the time because we had Jay Gruden, who, after that fucking misery of a season, was shown making out with girls outside of many rooms. It was a weird situation. Dan Snyder, we know what the fuck that fucker is. We needed someone to brighten the culture. And Ron Rivera, obviously, players coach, everyone loves him. Yeah, whatever. We get it. If I hear another press conference from him that says, we're going to figure this out, we have the personnel to do it, it's going to be fine. Ron, here's the sad truth. We don't have the personnel. We don't have the team. It's just the truth. We're not that good. And as much as I know Sully does it occasionally with his Giants. We joke about how good this team is. It becomes a tipping point. It's not funny anymore. Like, I can go out and say, Commanders go win the Super Bowl. We never will under Dan Snyder. We never will. And I've gone psychotic supporting this team. But 3 games in, we're playing a division rival. We let 35,000 Eagles fans coming to FedEx Field, which is more than the App State home attendance, by the way, to put into perspective. You know how fucking wild those games are. We let those many Eagles fans coming to our house. I mean, you actually think it'd be an Eagles home game. I heard EAGLES Eagles 4,000 times. It was the worst weekend of my entire life. You couldn't tell I'm a little crazy. And every time I try and go to sleep, I picture Carson Wentz with a 3-step drop back, and then he gets killed because our interior O-line is made of 6th grade JV players. Carson Wentz easily has the worst pocket presence, maybe of all time. This team is making me go insane. We got Dallas next week. And guess what, man? Last year, we played the Eagles, and then we went on the road to play Dallas, and we lost by 35 points. It's probably going to happen again.
The Cooper Rush?
Dude,
I wouldn't put it past you, honestly.
I wouldn't put it past us. Bad weekend, but on the bright side, at least you can cheer yourself up. Didn't say I did this because I'm underage. If you're upset, go buy a $16 beer that Dan Snyder put into place.
Taking a quick break to announce our new sportsbook partner for the NFL season, it's MyBookie. If you're looking to place some wagers on player props or some NFL games, click the link in our bio and use promo code ASC Sports to double your first deposit up to $1,000. Use code ASC Sports and go win some money.
Wow.
That's my rant.
I mean, how do I even follow that up?
Been saving that in. Coaching staff's got to go. I hate when people just say coaching staff's got to go, but it's been 3 years, and in year 3, you cannot lose in that fashion to Philadelphia against a division rival. It is completely unacceptable. I'm not as mad as some people they are with Wentz because everything around Wentz was just not working. The defense was awful. O-line was awful. Play calling was awful. Like, Sam, I'm going to give you a scenario here. All right?
Okay.
So Carson Wentz, a guy who we both agreed gets very frittered. Is that fluttered? Fluttered is the right word.
Flustered.
Easily. Sure, flustered easily. You know, when the pressure gets to him, he probably usually cannot amount to that pressure, right?
Yes.
And in his first game back against Philadelphia, and of course, Eagles fans are booing the shit out of him, as obviously they are. You know how Eagles fans are.
Yes.
If I am Scott Turner, am I managing the run, playing short screen, quick off the hand, the release passes, or am I taking my jolly old time, abandoning the run, and allowing their front four? You know, there were 7 plays with their front four, just their front four, no one else, no linebackers, no safeties, no corners, just their front four. They got home 7 times, just their 4 against our 5, 7 times. So I'll ask you, Sam, which scenario do you think makes more sense? Running the ball, which was working on Antonio Gibson, quick passes to arguably the 3 most athletic trio in the NFL with Jahan, Curtis, and Terry, or are you going to fuck it up? What would you pick? Whatever we displayed in that first half. Probably not what we displayed. I'm done. That's it. We can move on. Unless you have anything to say, but like
no, I don't. I just that Philadelphia is really good, and that's
I'm not even sorry to interrupt, but like Hurts is great, but it's not even Hurts. Like Devontae and AJ Brown
yes,
are incredible. They are incredible.
Like everyone's giving Hurts a lot of credit, and yes, he's gotten really freaking good this year compared to last year. But the players around him, you were talking about this coming into the season. I said Philadelphia, outside of quarterback, has like arguably the best roster in the NFL. They're showing that so far this year. Their wide receivers, their offensive line is best in the league. Their D-line is deep. Like you're talking about them rushing 4 all the time and it working. That's the benefit of being able to rotate those guys constantly and get practically the same level of production when you rotate those guys in because they're all playing fresh. Then you got like Darius Slay playing out of his mind. This team is really good. So you went up against a team that is way better than you. So I know you got absolutely embarrassed, but that's really all I have to give you. That's kind of hopeful.
Fair. But that I don't care if it's the Buccaneers.
It's a division rival. It's a division rival. This is you're supposed to make division rival games close. That's what the expectation is. Because if you get blown up by a division rival, it's like the worst feeling in sports in football, aside from like a playoff loss, you know?
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you this. When is the next time you talk about the Commanders? Is there any other scenario where you're going to talk about them?
If we start winning. But if things go really shit, I might pull out another rant. We'll see. But I had to let that out. I've been saving it this weekend. It's been tough.